following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Hey everyone, and welcome to 50 Shades of Bullshit. I'm your host, Christine Lalonde, and this is the podcast where we uncover the truth about online dating. Now let's begin. Hey everyone, I'm Christine.
I'm Jada.
And this is 50 Shades of Bullshit.
What is happening?
Well, it was my birthday this week, so I thought I'd wear my happy birthday glasses. Don't you like them? The color is fabulous, right? For those who can't see, who are not
love it.
Watching it, they're listening. Instead, I am wearing purpley pink happy birthday shiny glasses. Yeah, it was my birthday this week, so I thought I'd celebrate with y'all. I ate enough cake for everybody.
I was not expecting that.
I know, it's an attractive sight, isn't it? Oh my gosh. So,
lovely.
Hey Jada, how are you?
Hi. I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. So, Jada, how are you at attracting better relationships? Are you good at telling people how to attract better relationships than you are at bringing them in yourself?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
We've all been in that boat, right? We talk a big game. We tell our friends great advice, and then the hell we can't, take it ourselves.
Yeah. You know what, though, for me, I think it's because men automatically assume, because I'm in the matchmaking and date coach space, that I'm going to be judging them. So they're very
really?
put off. Yeah, they're very put off sometimes. So it's very tricky.
Have you thought about not telling men in the beginning and let them get to know you first and then spring it on them?
No, I have not actually.
Yeah, well, I had to stop telling people that I did a podcast and it was on dating because they were all afraid that if they'd go out with me that I would talk about them on my show. But yeah, your mic does sound a little funky, Jada. It might not be on.
I know. I'm checking it.
But yeah, this one guy, I think I had it listed on my somewhere. I had it listed social media wise, and this dude checked me out, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, even though you're really pretty, I can't go out with you because you have a podcast and you'll talk about me on your show." And I said, "Well, there's only two reasons why I would talk about you on my show. One, if you were incredible." And I'm talking about how incredible you are, which every guy wants that, right? Or you're a total douchebag, and I will for sure talk about you on my show. I mean, what can I say? But
what can you say?
Jada, wouldn't it, for guys, I would want to date a matchmaker and a dating coach because, I would know that they got their shit together. They know how to date.
Yeah, you would think so. But you also have to think that they would think I lose what happens with us in my work, if that makes sense. Like I would talk about it, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, well, if you're an asshole, we're going to talk about you. I mean, that's just plain and simple. Yeah. Now tell them
Exactly.
now, Jada, you cannot tell people, guys, that you are on a podcast about dating because they're going to go, oh, snap. She's going to talk about me. Yeah. Because you're a tool.
Wait,
So,
Christine, can you hear me yet?
I can hear you. I just think that your Macaphone, your Macaphone is all fucked up.
Okay, let me mess with it a little bit.
I I substituted microphone for Sarah's last name, Mac. So today, on 50 Shades of Bullshit, we've got an awesome person coming on as our guest today. We're talking about attracting a better relationship. And who doesn't want to attract a better relationship? I mean, seriously. So I find that we are constantly attracting, if you are finding you're constantly attracting unhealthy relationships, we all want to bring in um, that happy, healthy relationship, not only in relationships like in dating, but also, with work and our family and our friends. Um, oh, Jada, your mic sounds really sexy now. I can hear
Oh,
just the sound difference. Good
okay, good.
job. Oh, there you. Oh, girl, that's a good one. Okay, so today we have Sarah Mack. She is a transformational life coach. She specializes in helping singles to move on from their exes, which we all know we need that. She also helps you fall in love with your life and attract better relationships. So let's bring Sarah Mack on and have a little combo with Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Can you guys hear me?
We
Yes.
can. Look
Okay.
adorable. I like
Hello.
the 70s serial killer vibe glasses. Those are great.
Oh my gosh. That was what I was going for. How did you
I
know?
thought so, because girl,
Yes.
you are too fine to not wear serial killer glasses. You look so cute in those. Do you know what glasses they
Oh
match?
gosh.
Do you know who wore those kind of glasses?
I
Did you
mean,
see?
do you want to go down that road? Because I think I know
Yeah,
who you're gonna say.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Who?
I don't know. You go. Starts with a D?
Jeffrey. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jeffrey Dahmer wore glasses. I call those the serial killer vibe glasses, but they're hot on you, girlfriend.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Yes. So welcome to 50 Shades of all kinds of bullshit. Um, we we are really happy you're here with us today. Have you actually talked to or met with Jada before?
No, this is the first
No.
time.
It's so nice to
Well,
meet you.
I am excited I was able to get you on the show. We love transformational coaches and,
Mhm.
dating coaches and breakup coaches, and you're kind of the all in one. And that is awesome. We're excited.
Mhm.
So tell us a little about your background, Sarah. What exactly do you do, and how did you get involved in this kind of thing?
Yes. So I always love to start my story with my first serious breakup, which was a decade ago. And that really was the catalyst. It like opened up, all the wounds from childhood stuff I saw my parents go through. And that was really the catalyst to my journey of trying to figure out like, whoa, what the hell does love do to us? Like, why does it make us crazy? And I just
Yes,
became,
it does.
yeah, and I was just became obsessed with studying the pretty much the effects of love and relationships, especially breakups, and how much pain we carry with us and how that gets cracked open. And I was studying psychology in college at the time during this really traumatic breakup experience. So I do think everything was lining up for a reason. And that's when I really started to dig into my story. Like, why did I act like a 5-year-old child during this breakup? Just the feelings of so much overwhelming pain that makes you act in ways that you don't recognize. And I just remember coming out on the other side and thinking, I never want to see that version of myself again. And why am I not taking a college course on how to deal with this? And
Do
so
they
that was
have
always,
those?
I don't know. Like the closest thing, luckily, I was studying psychology, so I did get a taste of it, but we need to have the tools to better handle the pain. And just digging into my story more, my dad's a divorce attorney, and so that was pretty normal for me to grow up around the lingo of divorce, separation. I would work in his office every summer. I would see these toxic breakups and children involved. And so as a younger woman, having the desire to have the romantic story and love affair, I was super jaded in love because of what I had seen and how much pain I had seen. So I started to equate love to pain, and that a breakup was inevitable, and that just never sat well with
Well,
me. And so
I have a little philosophy on that, my own personal thoughts. Question for you though, before I say it. How old were you when you had that painful, crazy breakup?
so we broke up, I think I was 19, and then we would get
19.
back together, and then it was like a year and a half. So by the time I came out of it, I was 21, ready to
Okay,
party.
so my thoughts are in our teen and early 20 years when we start getting into relationships, we are so full of this hormone and emotions and feelings that we don't know how to handle or how to get out. And as we get older and as we break up and as we get in relationships, that just it gets less and less and less. It's like a full cup that has a leak in it somewhere, and it's slowly leaking the moisture out, which is what's called feelings and love. And I think that, even though I know that in my life now, I probably love in a completely different way, a more healthier way. But when we're younger, we just feel so much emotion. We feel so much. It's so deep. You know what I mean? So that's my philosophy on it. When you were studying therapy in school, did anybody ever say anything like that?
With the
With regards
emotion,
to being, like the younger you are, the more emotionally charged you are, and the older you get, the little less it becomes, or more, or that we can control it a little better.
yeah, it's we build more resilience. So the more we go through, the more resilient we become, especially when we know we've been through something before and our brain knows, okay, I've seen this before. I was okay afterwards. And so we know, okay, we can get through. There is a light on the other side, because I know that was something for me. I was like, I didn't know there was a light on the other side. I thought I was going to feel that way forever. It feels
Yeah.
like you can't get out. And then the other thing that comes to mind, kind of that goes hand in hand with that, is our identity. That we form our identity so much around that time, late teens, early 20s. So we're usually seeking who we are based off of the validation from other people. So we're seeking these early young relationships to give us the validation we need to tell us who we are in this world. And that's kind of how we're basing our identity. And then as we get older, we start to form a more solid identity of who we are and stand more in that power.
I like that. So, tell us what are the main things that you talk to your clients about when, let's start with breakups. When you help them, you know, get on and move on from their exes, how are you helping them? What's that process that you do?
So for me, I realized the more I put into creating a life that I was so in love with, the easier it felt to move on. So that's really what I created my program around. And I know manifestation is, the big buzzword these days, but I became obsessed with studying manifestation,
Go girl, me
knowing,
too.
yes, I know you're into it too. Knowing that we truly can have what we desire. We don't have to settle for these shitty relationships or these like relationships that we think that's all we deserve. Like we deserve the best. We each deserve the best. So it's shifting the mindset and knowing our worth, knowing that you are worth what you deserve, and then figuring out, how to dismantle all the stories that we tell ourselves from childhood, the stories on loop of why we don't deserve what we really want, and figuring out, okay, how can I actually get what I want? And that really is manifestation in my mind, is removing the limiting beliefs of what's getting in the way, and creating a life. So like for me, it was starting a business, moving abroad, moving to a different state, like having my big girl apartment. These were all things that I just like fell in love with in my life, that now I really encourage my clients to like go big. Like, this is your time. What if this is the last time you're single? Like, what if you have this next year and then you meet the love of your life? How do you want to look back on this period and think, wow, I really like fell in love with my life and fell in love with myself at that time?
Yeah, go on a sexcapade. Go on a sex journey. Discover who you are sexually.
Safely.
Yeah, and it's not just about having partners, I think, too. It's also about, discovering who you are sexually, who you are as a woman or as a man, what makes you, what makes you tick. Because if you're going to be on that journey to find your person, don't you think that if that next person is their person, then they need to be, who they are supposed to be, the best version of themselves for that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then also I like to think about leaving room to discover, you will have a partner. You're not going to know everything. You're not going to be completely healed by the time this person comes into your life. Like, you can still do that work with your partner, but
that's good.
Building the relationship to yourself to where you don't feel like you're settling and you don't need the validation, but you can still grow. We're always going to be growing.
So here's a question. So I have people that I know that fall in love with their lives. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're trying to help people fall in love with their lives, who then get so happy by themselves they don't want to be in a relationship again. So are you helping them? So what kind of advice do you give to somebody, or what kind of help do you give them to say, okay, fine, if you want to be single the rest of your life, be single the rest of your life, but how do you move them to accept a relationship after
Such a
they're
good
perfectly
question.
happy with themselves?
Yeah, it's such a good question, because it really is the spectrum, and then you have to kind of recalibrate, because it is so easy to fall in love with your life and become so independent that you have zero space for another human being. And so when someone tells me they want love, we have to really, I'm going to push their boundaries, like really see, okay, are you ready? Do you have the capacity for that? And where are your walls still up? And some people will say, oh yeah, I just want to be single like for a while. And then sometimes I want to call bullshit on that too, because we are here to love. We are here to connect with other human beings. I truly believe that's how we will grow as a society, is through love and connection. So there is that, finding that balance of like, don't go too far in the independence realm, because we still do need other partners and humans to connect with and share. I'm not saying everyone has to be in a partnership, like that's up to you, but I would totally challenge that notion if someone is saying that, they're just totally fine on their own, because I would think that there would still be that craving for some sort of partnership or connection that maybe they're not being totally honest and truthful with themselves. So
Mm.
it would just, start with a conversation and be like, okay, let's get totally brutally honest. Are you lying to yourself in any way, shape, or form? And then making the space, and that can be emotional space, physical space. Like if your house is full of crap and you have no space for a partner, that's kind of telling the energetic universe that you don't want anyone to come into your life. And so it's really can be as simple as like cleaning out your closet and all the little things.
I'm on that path too. I always say that chaos within your I cannot speak today. That's not good. Host a podcast and can't speak. So let's try this again. If you got chaos within your space, you're getting chaos within your heart, your mind,
Your life.
your life. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
yeah, 100%. I think that people who are like hoarders, they can't move into relationships because they're filling their life with so much chaos. It's almost like they're protecting themselves from getting hurt from the outside world, like they're doing it on purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I always feel like you clean out the cobwebs from your life, and it just opens up all this space for other possibilities, whether it be work and friends or family, but also, relationships.
Yeah, Christine, what you just touched on is very similar. I know you do a lot of manifesting, but it's also very similar to the law of attraction. When I talk to clients, I always say, you attract that of which you are. So if you're in a space of chaos, you're going to attract somebody that is chaotic and crazy and a hot mess, because that's the space that you're in. So I love that both of you guys said that.
Yeah, my philosophy again, here's another one. Try not to date anybody unless you're already in a relationship. Don't try doing the dating scene when you're moving.
Oh.
It's like, I'm like, when you're moving, got it.
Right? It's chaos when you're moving. You got things in boxes, you can't find anything. Your life's a mess. You got too much going on. Oh my God. So yeah, I'm just making a joke of it, but in reality, it is true. When you've got too much going on in your life, you've got too much chaos. You can't clean up your fucking room. How are you going to invite a hot guy into your room? You're like, oh, sorry, I'm sorry, I have 3 weeks of panties on the floor. You're like, okay.
Sarah, I have a question. So Christine just talked about someone that's a serial person of independence. How do you coach people that are serial daters? How do you coach them on finding their one person if they're a relationship hopper?
Yeah. Okay. So I love playing investigator. It's like we have to put on a piece of paper all the patterns. Every single person, I call it the love map. So every single person that's come into your life, and start identifying what patterns are taking place. Why is this person attracted to only certain types of people? And how are they showing up in the relationship? And we can compare that with what they truly want. So getting very clear on the vision. That is the first step of manifestation, is you have to get clear on what you desire and not be wavering. We have to get clear on what you truly want. So we could compare, okay, what are their dating patterns, and how does that compare to what they're saying they want? Because there's probably a gap there. And how are they showing up? So it's not really about what do they want to manifest. It's not that they want to manifest this perfect person that meets everything on their list. It's they're manifesting the person that they're becoming. So how are they showing up differently in this relationship? Do they have the space? Do they have the emotional intelligence skills that they've been working on? Are they more confident? So it's how are they showing up that's going to attract that person that's on their list. And when you put it all out on paper and you compare it to these serial dating situations, we can usually find the gap of, okay, where is something going wrong? And they may be getting closer and closer. So if we can't necessarily find that there's a gap, it may just be like that they are getting closer and they have to have these dating experiences to get more clarity on what they want. So I just think of dating like data. You're getting information that you need to get really clear on this vision.
How
And then we have to look at how picky they're being too.
Yeah, I was going to say, how in depth do you get with people? Because there are several things that came to mind while you were talking. A serial dater, thank you, Jada, because a serial dater is almost harder than the person who doesn't date at all, because a serial dater could be too picky, and a perfectionist who can't accept someone else to not be a perfectionist too, or to be perfect in their eyes. They could be pushing people away because they have been hurt and they're afraid of getting hurt again. So it just makes it easier for them if they just date. And then don't commit to somebody because then it's not their fault. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's like so many reasons why somebody could be either a serial not dater and a serial dater. You know? So how in depth do you actually get with your clients to find out what the actual hell is going on in their little world of finding love?
Yeah, I mean, we have to turn the mirror on them. It's not
100%.
it's not the people they're dating.
Yeah.
It's what's going on in their world. Of course, they're too picky, and they usually know they're picky and they're not really willing to budge.
I'm gonna say something there. I'm so sorry, Sarah. I just thought of something. When I was serial dating, because I have no problem admitting that I went on more dates than you can ever imagine. But this is the thing. I would say, oh, I really want to find love. I really want to find commitment. I really want this. I really want that. But I was dating all the men who were not emotionally available or physically available or anybody who was actually fucking available. You know what I mean? Oh, Sarah's frozen. She's frozen in a really cute pose, though.
I know.
Did we lose you, Sarah? Yeah, she's frozen. So, Sarah, if you can hear us, sometimes it helps to log out and then log back in through the same link. If that will help unfreeze you, because that will do that. So, Jada, we'll just keep talking until we get our Sarah back. But do you ever come across that when you are helping people? Do you find that they're like, oh, I want to be in a relationship, but they're dating all these people who are not available for themselves? And it's like, what? Because what they say and what they do are clearly contradicting.
Very different.
I used to be a contradictor. Yeah. How do you get to the root of that? How do you do that with your clients? There she is.
My computer just
there
shut
she
off
is
completely.
You were stuck in a very cute pose.
You were like, I'm so
bet.
cute in my serial killer glasses. Sarah's gonna get off this call and go, that fucking bitch, man, she made me feel so insecure. No, you look fucking gorgeous in those. You can pull those off.
You look great.
I, on the other hand, look like Jeffrey Dahmer's half sister who's mentally retarded, and that's why he started killing people, because he's like,
oh my gosh.
So Sarah, I was saying, as myself as an example, I would date emotionally unavailable men while I'm talking out my ass saying I want to be in a relationship. So I was doing that. I don't know why. Maybe I was afraid of something. Maybe I, again, like anybody else, was hurt or affected by that. But what do you do? What do you say to people when they're like saying, I want a relationship, and then they're dating Joe Schmo who wants to just be friends with benefits? So how do we deal with that with people?
You mean, okay, sorry. You mean, how do we deal with someone who's saying they want a relationship, but they're wasting their time with people that don't want relationships?
Yes. Yes, it's a
They're
pattern
or they're
people get
dating
into.
multiple people. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, people get in these patterns, and how do you help go, okay, Susie Q, you say you want a relationship, but Susie Q, you're seeing John, Jack, and
Yeah.
Joe, and then neither one of them will commit to you. You're going with unavailable men, men who cannot commit. What, what do you think people are doing? Do you think that they're trying to protect themselves? How do you help her get to a point where she starts truly choosing men that's right for her?
So look at the patterns. Usually, if this has happened in the past, we have to
Mhm.
look at, okay, what has happened in the past that's similar, or how is this person portraying similar behavior as someone in the past that did not give you what you need? And
Mhm.
so, if we can start to look at that, help them to recognize that they're all their needs are likely not getting met, then this is not lining up with the relationship that they truly desire.
Mm.
And I'm not going to tell them what to do, but I'm going to show them the data of, they have the information. It's going to ultimately their decision. And if they truly want a relationship, a healthy, balanced relationship that they say they want, then they're going to have to probably make some changes and make some hard decisions.
Mm. So how do we help ourselves attract better relationships in our lives? What's that key?
I think it all boils down to self-worth and
Mm.
the self-image, our self-image. So how are we truly attracting, not just, I mean, yes, relationships, but everything into our life is
Mhm.
attracting based off of our subconscious self-worth, which was mostly formed by the age of 7. But
Mm.
we can, we can scratch the surface, we can open that up, and we can change our brain. So it really is knowing that, okay, maybe we have attracted certain types of relationships in the past, but we can change who and what we attract into our lives by examining how we feel about ourselves, what happened in our childhood, how our family made us feel, like, all the things you would do in therapy or with a coach, or just, start this journey on your own. But bringing the awareness and knowing we can change what we are attracting into our life and how we
Mm.
feel about ourselves. Like, we don't
Mm.
need another person to tell us how worthy we are. We have to see that worth within ourselves.
Yeah, a lot of people need their love language is words of affirmation. And,
Yeah.
when you've got somebody whose
Mhm.
love language is words of affirmation and they need to be told they're pretty or they're hot or their butt looks good in those pants, or that they're, that must be difficult, because what if they're not getting that? And so they feel like they're lacking in some way. And, when they're trying to find someone.
Well, I mean, it's as simple as figuring out your love language and how can you incorporate that into your life on your own, so
Mm.
that you know how to fill your own cup. And then when you are in a relationship,
Mhm.
learning how to communicate these needs to your partner.
Mm. Yeah, I just walk by the mirror and go, "Bitch, you look good. Thank you."
Yeah, see, we need more people like you, Christy.
I don't know about that. I don't know
Yeah,
about
that's
that.
exactly, that's mirror work. This is what I tell my clients to do. Literally, look in the mirror. It's so silly. It's like the most cliche things that we hear in self-development that really are the things that work. So like gratitude, really shift, not just like fake gratitude, but like really actually feeling it. I swear it's magic. It's weird.
It is.
If you really develop that practice, you start to you start to see things differently. Like, oh, everything is working out for me and happening for me, and I am supported in this universe. And then mirror work, give yourself a pep talk every single morning. Like that is going to build up your confidence. And it's the daily repetitive, like it's tedious, but it's like the little tedious things that start to change our brain. And then we start to attract differently. And it's just compounded over time.
Yeah, I think a lot of women especially look in the mirror and go, "Oh my god, my lips are so thin," and "Oh my god, I got a double chin."
Everyone,
and I look in the mirror, and I try to look in the mirror and go, "Yeah, my lips may be thin, but damn, they're soft and people like to kiss them." And my double chin looks better today than it did yesterday, so fuck that. I just try to pep myself up, double chins are hot these days. Everybody likes a full figure double chin.
They're so in.
Why not?
That's exactly it. That's exactly it, though.
You know what I found when I was, multi-dating? I was playing the field. I was finding my love. You know what I found why I was dating so many people? Not because I didn't want them to be emotionally available, because, I would use guy names, but I've dated all the names and they'll all think that I'm talking about them and I'm not. So I'm going to just say Joe Schmo was hot in bed. He didn't do the downtown Leroy Brown, but Jack Smith could do really well downtown Leroy Brown. And then so-and-so took me out and was romantic where everybody else is not romantic. So then I'd have like 5, 6, 7 people lined up who filled in the blanks where none of them could handle it all themselves. I couldn't find that one guy who had all of it. Gave me my love languages and gave me the things that I was really searching for. I couldn't. I had to find them in 15 different people.
Yeah. I mean, that's a very logical thinking. So I'm curious then, Christine, how did you change that?
I found the guy that had all of it.
But what did you do before? What did you do before that? You must have done some work.
Yes, I did. I did a lot of work. I found that I didn't need somebody to fill all those blanks, that all those blanks were within myself. That if someone couldn't, satisfy me sexually, I satisfied myself sexually. If someone wasn't being romantic, then I would be romantic for myself. If I wanted to see, someone wouldn't take me to see the movie I wanted to see or the restaurant I wanted to go to, I would do it myself. So I found out that I was my own best partner. And then I realized that I was worthy and that I didn't actually necessarily need someone to fulfill anything that I was lacking, because I wasn't lacking anymore. So then I went out more confidently and less into the Joe Schmo that only gave me one thing and not another, and the so-and-so who couldn't fulfill. I didn't care about them anymore. I didn't need all those holes filled. Well, I still need holes filled, but not those holes filled.
But Christine, I want to say something for Christine, you, because I know you. I think that you also have been very open. You opened your heart a lot more because you went through a situation. You dated people. The situation you were in was a shitty situation, but you were still so open to receive an incredible person, and you still did the work and you still worked on yourself. So I think you did that too. You were also extremely open for love. Yeah.
You know what's funny? I moved to Los Angeles because I got a modeling job. This is like, oh God, how many years? 25 years. In a month, it'll be 25 years for me. So I moved to LA because I got a modeling contract. And while I was here, I started doing more acting, and then I got big acting jobs and I stayed because I loved it, right? Who doesn't love the weather when you're from the Midwest? So I completely forgot what I was I just totally forgot what I was saying.
Opening your heart?
Oh,
Something with opening your heart.
holy shit.
Are you okay over there?
I had a good reason. No, I had a very good reason why I was fucking saying that. And it had something to do with, I remember. Okay. So I had an acting coach. And I was in acting class one time and he stopped the whole class and he looked at me and he goes, Christine, you know what I like about you? He's like, you're a high diver. He said, you get on the highest diving board and you leap off without even looking if there's water in the pool. And he's right. In my life, that's exactly what I do with love, with relationships, with my kids, with my jobs, with anything, with adventures. I leap. I don't fucking care. I'll land on something. I don't know what I'll land on. It might be a something that bounces me back up, or it might be a fucking hole. I don't care. I'm willing to leap, and I want people to learn to leap without giving a shit. We're gonna land on our feet. We're like cats. We're fine. And if we don't, I have a cushy ass.
I'm very curious if you know your human design.
What does that mean? Human design.
It's kind of a brand. It's based off of astrology and 6 other different Eastern practices, like spiritual modalities, but it's so accurate. So I feel like there's probably something in there based off your human design.
I'm gonna have to check out this human design thing.
Yeah.
I know, I'm looking it up now so I can see what it is.
Blowing up. It's kind of blowing up.
Is this something new, or is this something that's been around for a while?
It's been around for a while, but it's definitely gaining a lot of momentum. Like now you're going to start seeing it. It's all over.
Calculate human design chart.
That's what I'm looking at.
Let's look at this. This is interesting. So, do you talk to your clients about human design and try to help them with what they're doing?
I'm really getting into it because it's really our imprint of when we came into this world, our design imprint and our natural energy. And so, and then we get conditioned, by society and our family and the world, and we kind of stray away from our design. And for me, it's led to burnout. And so I'm really starting to study human design, and it's kind of crazy how accurate it is, and learning the natural, like, what is my natural energy flow? I'm really just starting to get into it. So
I wonder, does one's human design affect how they manage relationships, or how they, like, does it have to do, sometimes with astrology, they can say a Virgo is good with a Taurus. Certain designs well together, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So I was just looking into that recently, and I don't think it's really based off of, like, it doesn't really matter. The design's compatibility doesn't determine that, but it matters how you enter a relationship. Like, how aligned are you with your authentic design? That makes a difference into what you're attracting and what relationships you're entering into, because we want to be aligned with our natural energy. And yeah, when we feel the most authentic. And so that's going to affect the relationships that we get into.
Okay, I don't mean to laugh. but I just kind of did this little human design thing. And it says your heart line marks sadness or depression in your life. It won't last forever though. Yeah, no
What?
shit. Everybody
What
has
is your
that.
design? Does it say?
No, it says your lifeline depicts that your physical health requires hard work to improve. Yeah, no shit. Your headline depicts that you are usually slow to respond, hasty, careless, indecisive, and impulsive. Not true. Not true.
Did you
Um,
type in your
I don't
did you
know.
do you I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you're not on the right
Maybe I'm
thing.
looking at the wrong thing. I think I'm looking at the wrong thing. Um, I'm gonna have to look that up. What's the best place to find that? I know
Yeah,
that our
me too.
listeners are gonna go, oh,
My body
human
graph.
design. My
My body
body,
graph.
my body
It's called
graph.
My Body Graph.
mybodygraph.com. Graph.com. You can look up my human or my human
My
design.
human. Oh yeah, the last thing I was looking at, not it. That was not it.
Yeah.
Well, now you have to share what it was. What was it?
It read my palm. It made me put my
no.
palm, and it had me read my palm. I'm gonna have to look this up, and then we're gonna have to talk
Should
about
I
this
link it in
again
the
because-
chat? Link.
Yeah, link it in the chat.
Okay,
Also, don't forget to put your info so people can find you.
Okay, that's my
Yeah.
human design. I mean, it's a rabbit hole, so there's only so much I can say in a minute, you know.
Your human design. Interesting. Sign up and learn about yourself. Okay. I'm gonna check this out.
Yeah. I'm doing it too. I'm curious now.
Yeah, I'm definitely just scratching the surface, but it's fascinating me at the moment.
Huh. Yeah, I see this. All right, I'm gonna have to check this out and see what it is. Yeah. All right, we got a little sidetracked, but I like sidetracks, so we're good. So, do you also tell your clients, "Hey, you got to do this body graph thing because, it'll help me to understand who you are better."
Yeah, it's a new thing that I'm really starting to use with my clients because I feel like it's helping me so much to really get to know myself and deconditioning how the world tells us we should be and getting back to the root, our authentic alignment and how we're designed to flow through this world. That's what feels good. And I just feel like that's kind of like the root of everything, right? If you feel good and in flow and your authentic self, then just like you're gonna be a magnet to everything you want.
Yeah, well, I'm all about the manifesting, and I truly believe that. I also think that what you had said earlier about showing up for yourself, what really feeling that, positive energy, really feeling that you're, extraordinary, that you're beautiful, that you're sexy, that you're, great at your job. All those things really start to play into that because it really starts to bring in all those things that you're looking for.
Mhm.
You struggle with your job, you're gonna have fucking problems with your job. If you're, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
And your example of how you found your match was you filled the void of everything that you were looking for externally. That's like, that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah. People really really have to reflect themselves before they can really get in a relationship that's going to work for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
How can people find you, Sarah?
Easiest is on Instagram, love.sarahmac, SARAHMAC. Yeah, that's the easiest to find me and where I'm most active.
I love that. So what's your parting words? We are over in like 30 seconds, but what's your
Okay.
parting words for people when they're trying to build better relationships with others? What's that nugget?
Build the relationship with yourself. Get to know yourself, what you love, what your passion is, what you feel like you're drawn to, what you feel like you're here to do on this earth. Build that relationship. Even if you're in a relationship, continue to build that relationship with yourself.
Yeah.
That's going to make, attract better and all the things.
I agree. You can get lost in a relationship too if you don't know
100%.
yourself.
100%.
Mhm.
That's what most of my
Definitely
clients
can.
come to me is, after the relationship when they feel
Yeah.
like they don't know who they are.
Yeah, finding yourself. That's our parting words today,
That's our
folks.
parting
Find
word.
yourself. If you're lost, fucking go look for yourself. So, thank you, Sarah, for being here today. Time goes
Thank
way
you,
too
Sarah.
fast.
Thank you both for having me.
I love having you. Everyone, thank you for showing up and listening today. We really appreciate everybody who comes and listens to us every week. Thanks for coming back. Please, I hope you do again. And until we see you next week, same time, same place,
Bye.
keep it real.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. If you enjoyed this episode, please share with your friends, like and follow us on Instagram at 50 Shades of _bullshit and Facebook at 50 Shades of Bullshit. Thanks so much for listening, and we really hope to see you again next week.